it's time for my first impression of the 2014 fall anime season. Today I'm going to be talking about the anime Parasyte, which came out a few weeks ago, so there's a few episodes out of it, but this first impression is based off of the first episode only, so let's get started. Just kidding, we're not getting started yet because I need to give a warning before we get getting into this first impression that this episode is uncensored. It has a lot of gore, a lot of horror, all that fun stuff because it's a horror anime. But because the episode is uncensored, this first impression is going to have images that are very mature, very gory. If you have a weak stomach, you're not going to want to check Parasyte out anyway, most likely. So just be warned that this first impression is going to have that in there. Okay, now let's get started. One fine evening, worm-like creatures appear on Earth and begin using humans as hosts. These icky creatures are called parasites. Gentle 17-year-old Shinichi finds his right hand taken over by a parasite, eventually dubbed MIGI, who attempted to take over his brain, but ultimately failed, resulting in the two each maintaining their own minds and personalities. Eventually, the two find themselves having to work together to survive against the rest of the parasites. Now, as you know, giant fan of horror and gore and all sorts of disgusting things right here. So you probably can understand how excited I am about this series. I haven't read the manga, but I have heard that it gets real dark and real gory and all of the things that I absolutely love. So if you're not a fan of horror or gore like this guy is, then you are gonna find out pretty early on that Parasyte won't be tickling your fancy. Opening on a stomach and jaw-dropping scene of a wife's head being nommed off by the grotesque Venus flytrap tentacle-looking thing that's now replaced her husband's face. Parasyte doesn't even bother easing the viewer in. From the parasite worms crawling beneath skin to an absolutely adorable corgi devouring a fellow dog before gruesomely transforming into a parasite, everything is designed to make you feel queasy. The basis of the entire plot is eerie and brilliantly directed to boot. The pacing is quick enough to give us vital explanation while still being interesting, and the exposition is fascinating without being too complex just yet. Fans of horror know that sometimes the best titles in the genre are the ones that blend the creepy and bizarre with dark humor, and Parasyte does a fantastic job of doing just that. Most of the humor here comes from MIGI exploring her new home as Shinichi's right hand, and Shinichi's disgruntled resignation to the fact that the appendage is no longer his. Which is something else that is incredibly awesome, in that we have a main character who does not spend far too much time being all, no, this isn't happening to me, I'm dreaming, my hand is still mine, it's not a freaky appendage, that Jake! We have a person who is initially freaked the fudge out, as anybody in the right mind should be, but rather than being reduced to a wimpy pile of denial, we have somebody who recognizes his situation, accepts it, and decides to look for a way to live with it and solve it. This stepping up to action is incredibly refreshing, especially with it coming from a main character who appears at first like he's going to be our typical self-conscious stuttering dude in glasses who's terrified of spiders, which I understand. Tell me as often as you want that spiders are bros. I don't care if spiders are bros. They don't like them and they could just like bro out of my life. As much as I love Shinichi though, the star of the show is most definitely MIGI. It is 10 out of 10, A+++, repeating the best character of this season so far. And its voice actor nails the curious and creepy tone and kind of makes it adorable, which isn't something I ever thought I'd say about a stretchy, grotesque, wiggly-eyed hand monster. And in terms of animation, the Studio Madhouse gives us a standout performance, both in terms of the animation and its fluidity, and the direction, with the transformations of the parasites as well as the designs of the parasites themselves. The studio does a fantastic job of making the series both hauntingly beautiful and terrifying. The choice of giving the humans a more subtle appearance than most anime would gives the otherworldly characters even more of a presence when they're on screen. It doesn't rely on excessive blood splatters or cheap and gratuitous chopping of limbs, as fantastic as those are, instead using disturbing imagery to induce shudders, such as human skin has been hung from a clothing line. Also, what's awesome about Mad Men's animation is the complete lack of censorship. That's right, guys. We have a horror that is not censored. It's no Terraformas, it's no Poopa, it's no Tokyo Ghoul. It is uncensored, full on, first few seconds, wife's head getting chopped off and just the neck. There's no black covering the neck. Good. It's really, really good, and I just want to hug all of Madhouse for that. And I don't particularly have a lot to say about the music, but I have to give a shout out to that OP because it is dope. It is so good, and it's right up there with Your Lie in April and Shingeki no Bahamut's for me as my favorite of the season. It's so good. If you don't like body horror or have a weak stomach, then Parasyte most certainly is not for you. And I suggest that you get out now because I hear it gets really heavy very quickly, which I'm so excited about. How can you not be excited about that? For those of us who have been craving a fascinating and twisted psychological horror to fill the gap that Tokyo Ghoul left us with, and the gap that really hasn't been filled for quite a long time, then Parasyte is looking to be fantastic and ramping up to get even better and darker as it goes on. If you would like to watch Parasyte, or Kiseijuu as it is known in Japan, then you can click the link in the description down below, which will take you to get a free Crunchyroll free trial of a Crunchyroll pass. It's free for 14 days. You get to watch the thing without ads, which means all of the gore and corgis getting their hearts ripped out. So good. 1080p without ads. Go ahead and click in the description down below if you want to do that. Okay guys, that is it for my first impression of Parasyte. Let me know in the comments down below how you're liking this series. Like I said, I haven't watched many series yet this season, but this is definitely one of my favorites. I've been excited about it for a really long time, so I'm so stoked that it is getting a really good anime adaptation. I love it. I'm in love with it. I'm really excited to watch the next few episodes because I've only watched the first one so far, but I hear it only gets better. So definitely check it out if you have not. If you'd like to find me on any other social media site, all of the links are in the description down below. I have I have a Titter. That's what I have. Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, AskFM are the ones that I use most often, but I also have a Facebook and a Crunchyroll profile, so please go ahead and check all those out. If you'd like to ask me questions, interact with me, send me any sort of tweet, talk to me about Parasyte on Twitter, I would absolutely love that. You guys are fantastic, and you are the best pretty otter faces in the entire world. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic Parasyte-filled day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye! Nailed it. Hey guys, it's Erin, and it's time for the first of my 2014 first anime, Instead using disturbing images to seduce stutters. I don't know, very soon, but coming out soon, then packs of I want my hand to be able to rip out the heart of a corgi. No, I don't. I actually don't want that at all. That would be really sad. Titles in the genre are the ones that been the big.